Hi everyone. Is Giant Steps in the key of E flat major? Some of you may be thinking the answer to that question is simple, as Coltrane's original touches upon E flat several times through its duration and ends with a 2-5-1 cadence in that key. There have, however, been several other suggestions for the work's tonality. Henry Martin, for example, in a paper from 1996, suggested the work could be considered non-tonal as it doesn't project a single key throughout. He now claims the work to be in E flat major. Others suggest the work's key is B major. One possible reason for the different interpretations lies in the fact that Giant Steps, along with many other works in the jazz repertoire, is constructed from various partial or complete 2-5-1 progressions, possibly the most key-defining cadential progression in tonal music. The three keys of E flat, B and G major touched upon through Giant Steps therefore can all potentially be heard as the overall tonic key. And while G major is perhaps the least likely as it is typically located within the work's three tonic progressions, even it with a little ritardando and slight change of melody note could be considered a potential conclusion to the work. Does this mean then that the entire work is in G major? Looking at the bars containing the three tonic progressions, if we consider these changes as a prolongation of a 2-5-1 progression, then bars 1 to 3 suggest E flat major and bars 4 to 7 B major, both of which have been suggested as possible universal tonics. Martin's revised view suggesting the work is in E flat major is supported by several ideas. The first is his concept of prolongation by arrival, which contends that chords that delimit hypermetrical time spans bear greater structural weight than chords within those time spans, particularly when those chords are cadential. Discussing the following example, he states, the changes tonicize G major at measure 3 and E minor at measure 7. The E minor tonicization therefore spans the entire 8-bar passage because its weight bears greater tonal significance at that level than the G major tonicization, which would span the first 4 bars. The continuing circle of fifths motion via characteristic harmonies of E minor through the 8 bars further minimizes the G major arrival at measure 3 and increases the weight of the E minor arrival at measure 7. In other words, because E minor concludes the 8-bar hypermeasure and is reinforced by the circle of fifths, the root notes of which move through notes of that key, E minor is heard more strongly. G major, although preceded by its own supertonic and dominant, is therefore heard as part of the progression towards the ultimate goal of E minor, but not as a strong goal in its own right. Another concept Martin uses to support his claim is Schenkerian analysis. Using this method, he contends the initial 7 bars prolong an F-sharp melody note over B major harmony, and because F-sharp is the flattened third of E-flat major, he claims it adds a sense of blueness to the overall E-flat tonality. The remaining bars he suggests supports with E-flat major harmony the note G, E-flat major's 3rd degree, which then moves to B-flat, E-flat's 5th. Martin claims the initial 7 bars are not as strongly supported because B major's dominant is inverted, whereas the E-flat major bars are clearly prolonged by the 1-5-1 progression in that key. He then adds, although the tonics in Giant Steps divide the octave equally, they are themselves unequal. The piece's E-flat major tonality emerges in part from their hierarchization. G major is the least significant, B major begins the tune and is the prolonged tonic of the first half. E-flat major is the most significant, prolonged for the second half and ending the piece. In other words, using his idea of prolongation by arrival, according to Martin, the final bars of Giant Steps have more tonal weight than the initial bars, and E-flat can therefore be heard as the work's overall tonic. Personally, while I think that arguments can be made justifying the work as non-tonal or being in B-flat or E-flat major, I don't think that Coltrane was necessarily thinking in terms of a single key when he was composing Giant Steps, and therefore I tend to favour the non-tonal opinion. What do you think? I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. See you next time.